Team Green just threw a hand grenade into the dirt bike market. It's the Kawasaki KX327X. They're calling it a revolution. Guys, it finally happened. In over 20 years, this is the biggest news that have come out of Japanese dirt bikes. The Japanese manufacturers have given us nothing but crickets. In fact, Kawasaki does a press release that they heard us about 2 years ago about this press release with this two-stroke motor, and they just say, "We heard you." And they've finally done it today. I'm just looking at the press release and I'm just kind of reading through some of this stuff. And again, like I said, Team Green just threw an absolute hand grenade into the market. Now we have the all-new 2027 KX327X. 327. There's a deliberate reason, I'm sure, that they made it a 327 and not a 300. And I've said this a ton. It's like, hey, if you wanted to outsell the 300 two-stroke, the way that you would do that is by making a 320 and a 325, and they made a 327. So they say that it's I'm going to get into a ton of this stuff. I'm going to tell you what they've said, and I'm going to tell you what they didn't say throughout this entire video. And I've been looking at this all morning. But it's their electric start. It's fuel injected. A ton of people are going to be pissed off at that. We'll get to that. Electronic fuel injected electric start two-stroke is built on their chassis that's derived from their KX450X or the KX450F, I believe. So I want to break this down, look at the pricing, look at the glaring technical omissions that are not listed in this document. And I also want to prove that this is kind of a calculated paper launch here. And I've got some reasons why I think that is. Okay, so let's run through the actual numbers as they've given to us here in what Kawasaki is promising. They're releasing two different models. They've got a track focus KX327, which is kind of weird, with a 5-speed gearbox. It retails for $9,099. And then they've got this KX327X, their dedicated cross-country model, for $9,699. And when you look at the X model, Kawasaki went all out in some of the things that they're talking about for off-road development. So here's some of the stuff that they're talking about, but that I think is pretty cool. Because it's great because they're not just giving us the motocross version with like different suspension settings and an 18-inch rear wheel and a kickstand like most of the others do. They're doing some actual different things to this. So chassis and weight. They're saying that they're going to use an aluminum perimeter frame, which is kind of what they've been doing, hitting a total vehicle weight of just about 233 pounds. Now, I don't know if that's going to be wet or dry. It's probably going to be the dry weight. But it kind of puts it in the line with the 254 strokes. Kawasaki explicitly notes that they've redesigned the rigidity and layout of the lower frame pipe specifically to improve obstacle clearance so you don't hang up on logs. So that's interesting. Okay, you got me there. Gearbox, this is what I love. So the gearbox, you get a wide ratio 6-speed transmission where first gear has been explicitly optimized to help you lift the front wheel over obstacles from a dead stop. So it's going to be a cross-country transmission or a wide ratio transmission, maybe similar to what the KTM XEWs have been, which I love. So they're putting a different transmission in the bike, which is freaking awesome. I love that. Then they're pairing it up with KYB suspension and Nissan brakes. So up front, you're getting the 48 millimeter KYB spring forks, and it's a KYB, the Unitrack shock in the rear. Brakes, you're getting the Nissan brakes, which I'm not entirely surprised about. I think they're doing Brembo brakes. Kawasaki is doing Brembo brakes on their KX450F or whatever, but this one gets Nissan brakes. So, and they're good. It's fine. They're bringing back the adjustable cockpit to the chassis, so you're going to be able to move your handlebars because I think you'll have like 4 different positions or something for your handlebars up on the triple clamps, and it's cool because you're going to be able to use 2 different foot peg positions. So Kawasaki has done this in the past. In fact, they've been doing it for a minute now. They're one of the only ones where you can use different positions on your foot pegs, which is cool because then you can kind of customize it to exactly what you want. I love that. On the off-road version, you're getting a translucent, I think it's about a 2.2 gallon tank. They're putting ODI lock-on grips on there. But here's another cool thing. They're putting some other things on the bike stock, which is a skid plate. And I think the skid plate includes a linkage guard. I'm not exactly sure how all that works, but there's a linkage guard. You can see it in the pictures. And I think it's coming with a rear disc guard, which is also pretty cool. So hand guard, skid plate, rear disc guard, linkage guard. That's cool. Good stuff there. Hey, you guys know I'll be trying to get my hands on one of these things, and if you become a member of DBC Garage, you're going to be able to win that bike whenever I can get it. See, DBC Garage is a thing where we've got a private community where there's just a few hundred people inside of there, and they're funding their own dirt bike every 90 days. Right now, I'm doing one where there's a KTM 300XC and a KTM 500 EXCF. It's for the summer. It goes from June until August, and everybody who's a member of DBC Garage is entered to win both of those bikes. One of them is a more public giveaway. One of them is a more private giveaway. Anyway, the details are on my website, but become a member of DBC Garage and you probably end up winning one of these bikes at some point, because I'm going to try to get my hands on one. But DBC Garage is the best way to support what we're doing here. Also, use my links to Rocky Mountain ATV all throughout the year. Anytime you use my links for Rocky Mountain ATV, get you free entries to win the dirt bikes I'm giving away all year long. Okay, back to the video. As far as the fuel injection goes, they're saying it's advanced fuel injection systems, a 39 millimeter throttle body fed by dual injectors. It says one upstream and one downstream. At low RPM, the downstream injector operates, enabling precise fueling for low speed control and ground gripping traction, even when the throttle's barely open. And then the upstream injector joins at a higher RPM, enabling powerful acceleration and high revving excitement, reminiscent of a classic two-stroke. So they're saying it's got dual injectors, one upstream and one downstream. But we don't know a ton about that yet. Power valve. It's an electronic power valve. So it's saying that it's tuned to deliver strong torque from ultra low RPM and linear power across the entire range. Cutting edge exhaust valve system designed exclusively by a Kawasaki for the 327cc. Dynamically adjust port timing across engine speed to throttle position to produce crisp, responsive torque at every speed. So there's your power valve stuff. It is saying that it has a hydraulic clutch, which is pretty sweet. Everybody's moving towards that. Obviously, it's got electric start is what they're saying, which is incredible. I do think, and when you look at the Explore More section, they're saying it's 32-to-1 mix. I mean, who the H would run this bike at 32-to-1? You'd have to be using the worst oil ever, and you'd have to be keeping the throttle open 100% all the time. If you're using any sort of a conventional oil, you do not need to mix a bike like this at 32-to-1. That's just CYA for like the best motocrosser in the world that's holding the bike wide open for 32 minutes at a time or whatever. Us trail riders do not run the bike at 32-to-1 unless you want to blow spark plugs and foul spark plugs and fill your silencer full of goo. 32-to-1 is absolutely ridiculous. I don't care what they say. I will get one and I will never, ever, ever mix it at 32-to-1. But I digress. Okay, it's time to take a little bit deeper dive at the press release because there's a few kind of massive elements in the room that they're leaving out. So first up, let's talk about missing numbers. So Kawasaki drops this brand new, highly anticipated 327, cc engine, but there is zero mention. I'm looking through this. There's zero mention of horsepower or torque figures anywhere in the document that they gave us. And for a bike this hyped, and as much as they've been hyping this for a long time, I think that's a deliberate omission. Let's talk about counterbalancing for just a second. They say here that they are using a single shaft primary engine balancer, reducing engine vibrations for smooth power delivery and improved throttle control. Here's the deal. In 2017, KTM revolutionized counterbalancing in these two-stroke motors, and those bikes became electrically smooth. And Beta said that they counterbalanced, and it was nowhere near counterbalanced. TM said it was counterbalanced. Those bikes vibrate a ton more. Same with Sherco. Like, no one's been able to do the counterbalancing as good as KTM. And if Yamaha doesn't, if Kawasaki doesn't have this figured out, it might vibrate a lot in that rigid frame, that perimeter, very rigid aluminum frame. It might vibrate like a paint mixer. It's also interesting because when you look in the press release, it says that specs are subject to change. And I think what they're trying to do here is trying to stop the market and freeze you and freeze me out from buying the KTMs or the Yamahas or the Shercos or the Betas while they kind of get this stuff sorted out a little bit. That's how it feels to me when I look at this. One thing they do tell us is that they've completely omitted oil injection, which I think is actually a good balance here because that means you're still going to be pre-mixing the bike. So that means there's no oil pump failures. I think that's probably smart. There's going to be a whole bunch of people that are pissed off that the bike is fuel injected because they want a simple carburetor. But I think you have to strike a balance there because most people don't know how to tune a carburetor. And I've gone on record saying that the reason why two-strokes will continue to exist if they do is because of fuel injection. Most people have never ridden a properly tuned two-stroke. And so the fact that this is fuel injected, I think is a good thing. Let's talk about the price war a little bit here because I think Kawasaki is onto something. I mean, this thing is going to be quite a bit cheaper. Even if it's just a paper launch, the European brands have to be sweating right now because Kawasaki is pricing it incredibly aggressive. At $9,699, it puts the KX327X way under a standard KTM 300 XCW by a couple $1,000. I mean, that's pretty big. And remember, what are you getting for the price? With a KTM, you have to spend money immediately on a skid plate that actually covers the linkage, and you will probably still need to get a rear disc guard. I mean, there's a lot of other things that kind of come in this. But overall, I'm super stoked because a Japanese manufacturer is back into two-strokes, back into full-size two-strokes, and I hope that Honda takes note. I hope that Suzuki takes note. I hope that Yamaha takes note, and maybe this will actually spur these other manufacturers on to actually doing something. And I hope the bike is absolutely killer because if you're adding better options into the market, a high tide raises all ships. Having Kawasaki back into the two-stroke mix, I think, is a massive win for all of us. But I want to hear your thoughts on it. Put it down in the comments what you think about this stuff. Are they hiding this? Why do you think they didn't mention like some of the things we talked about in the video? So, and again, head over to DBC Garage, become a member of that because people are winning bikes all year long in that thing. The spring sweepstakes just closed and we're waiting for the finalists. It'll take a couple of weeks before we can do the live drawing on that one. But the summer sweepstakes is in full swing right now. I don't have a ton of information on the website, but again, it's a KTM 300XC and a KTM 500 EXCF. Those dates run from June 1 to August 31st. And one of the DBC Garage members is going to win that one of those bikes. They get to pick which bike they want. And then the other bike is for the more public drawing, which the DBC Garage members are also included in that. So if you're a member of DBC Garage, you're literally getting access into 2 different sweepstakes automatically. And one of those is a private sweepstakes for just DBC Garage members only. So anyway, that's what I've got for you guys. This is pretty exciting. It's the biggest news to come out of two-strokes in about 20 years. So anyway, that's what I got for you guys. And until next time, leave a single track. Thanks.